The I am shirts that we have available. But again, it's iweariam.com. This is the one of the newest shirts that we have. I am are the two most powerful words you will ever say. What you put behind them shapes your life. So be sure to check it out. Hope you guys are doing fantastic today. This is going to be a continuation of what we went over last week, which is all about personal empowerment, personal ownership, which is huge. This is a little bit different for me because I'm actually trying to capture the video so I can put it on YouTube for you guys as well. So I'm going to change this up just a little bit. I'm going to hold one device in my hand and let the other one record. So give me a second. We're going to get this because I want to actually be live with you guys while we're doing this. So switch that around. There we go. All right. So again, this is a new shirt from I Am. Get a good look at that. It might be a little backwards for you, but iweariam.com is the website. And we're going to blaze this today, guys. I am excited for this one. I'm going to give you guys a few more minutes. If you guys have someone that you want to get on this, tag them right now because we're going to get started in about another 60 seconds. I have a lot that I want to give to you guys today. What I'm going to do right now is cover some of what we went over last week. And the three items that we covered last week about start thinking like a boss, understanding what you're capable of achieving, and defining who you are today. All of last week was really more about start thinking like a boss. So what we're going to focus on this week is understanding what you are capable of achieving and defining who you are. So, like I said, we covered before you can ever have any success in anything, there's a specific type of mentality that you have to have. You have to have a success mentality that you can achieve everything. What we covered was you have to know that you can succeed. Your purpose is here to succeed. You were not created to fail. And whatever you desire, you already have. Right? We also touched on you are who you say you are, and you will achieve what you believe you will achieve. No person ever believed they would fail, that they were incapable, or that they would achieve less. Right? And the final thing we covered last week was who you decide to listen to will make or break your results and possibly your spirit. So those are some of the things we covered last week. This week, we're going to dive into this right now, and we're going to pick up with understanding what you are capable of achieving, right? And so the start of all of this is all of the success you will ever have in your lifetime has already been given to you. And that's really something that you have to understand. When I mean that it's been given to you, I don't mean that someone has just literally given you and spoon-fed you. Right? That's not what I mean with that statement. What I mean is everything you want to achieve in your lifetime, you have the ability to achieve, right? You can achieve anything in this lifetime that you would like to achieve, right? There is nothing that limits you from achieving what you want to achieve in this lifetime. It's already been given to you because all the tools that you need to achieve what you want to achieve, they are within you. Right? We have to be in a space, in a mindset of pulling those things out of us so that we can then obtain the things that we want. So when you realize that you can be successful, you will be. It's just that simple. It's not rocket science. Success and obtaining success isn't rocket science, right? When you realize that you can be successful, you will be successful. That's as simple as it gets, right? Your reasonings for not having what you desire is due to you not recognizing your abilities for obtaining success. They are being suppressed due to a limited belief. You have a greater propensity to think that you can't do something versus that you can do something, that you will do something, that you're capable of doing it. Let me reinstate what I just said. Your reasons for not having what you desire is due to you not recognizing your abilities to obtain success are being suppressed due to a limited belief, right? This is what we need to understand. It's a limited belief that prevents you from obtaining success, and we have to change the way we think. That is the whole point of disruption, changing the way that you're thinking about things, right? The first step to curing any addiction is acceptance. You have to accept the fact that you have an addiction in order to cure it, right? So when you accept the fact that your addiction is a limiting belief, you then have the ability or the knowledge to fix it, right? You know that you have this disease. Now starts the process of recovery, of getting to a space where you can uncover the things that are needed to help you get to a better space, right? Understand this. Anything that you have not yet achieved is a direct result of you not wanting to achieve it. That's as simple as it gets, right? Last week, our affirmation was, I will not stop, right? I will not stop was our affirmation from last week. Anything that you have not yet achieved is a direct reflection of you not wanting to achieve it. It's because you stopped. You have to understand this. As I said to you last week, we create failure. Failure doesn't exist. Failure isn't even real. We create failure when we make the decision to stop. You failed, right? When you decide, I'm not going to go any farther, when you decide that I can't do it, when you decide this is too hard, when you decide that this is something that's way out of the atmosphere of thought for you and you can't obtain it, you failed. Success doesn't exist. Failure doesn't exist by itself, right? Failure only exists when you create it. Failure is something that we create. It doesn't exist in your life until you give it life, right? So understand those things. Now, your ability to accomplish great things relies on your ability to recognize the changes you must make. You must make, right? Understand it. Your ability to accomplish great things relies on your ability to recognize the changes you must make. Right? Understand this. Recondition your conditioning. Most people are conditioned to fail. We are conditioned to stop. We're conditioned to give up. We're conditioned to stop when something looks too difficult. We're too conditioned. You have to recondition your conditioning, right? Your muscle is formed by you lifting things that are heavy, right? You form muscle by lifting things that are heavy. Sometimes life is heavy. Sometimes there's burdens in life. There's sorrow. There are things that are so heavy that are happening in your life, whether it be mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, whatever it is, that they're so heavy and you believe that you can't get past it. No, you have to recondition your conditioning and understand that your ability to lift heavy things is put in you. That's innate within you. You have that ability. Right? You have to understand your abilities are far greater than your hindrances. Your abilities are far greater than your obstacles. Your ability to lift great things is far greater than the weight of the thing that's on you. You have that ability, right? You have to recondition your conditioning to bring that ability out. Pay attention to the details that create the habits that prevent you from moving to the next stage of success, right? We have habits that prevent us from getting to where we want to get to. Those habits have triggers. I talk about this all the time. Change the triggers, right? When you identify that, when you pay attention to the details, you will be able to identify what habits keep you away from your success. If you don't understand what habits, you don't know what knobs to turn, right? When you want heat in your home, you turn the knob to the higher side of the temperature, right? When you want it to cool, you turn the knob the other way. When you want fire on the stove, you turn the knob one way. When you want it to turn down, you turn it down the other way. What knobs are you supposed to turn in your life if you don't understand what habits understand what habits you have? You have to identify the habits. You have to know what they are. Pay attention to the details, right? The details, and what I mean by that is when you do something that is habitual, what is it that led you to that point to do that? What is it? What trigger was it that led you to engage in the habit that you created? Pay attention to that, because that's what you have to change. You have to change the trigger that puts action in the habit. And once you change the trigger, you can create different habits. You have to recondition your conditioning, change your habits, change the triggers to change the habits, right? Because that's what prevents you from moving to the next stage. You have to create new habits, success habits that put you in a different space, right? Here's the other thing. Start doing something different with your time. Do something different with your time. Watch this. People love X Factor. People love to watch Queen Sugar. And don't get me wrong, because my boy Dondre is on Queen Sugar. Love you like cook food, man. You and your wife. But you guys want to watch Queen Sugar. You guys want to watch Power and all these shows. And watch this. If you watch Queen Sugar once a week, that's 4 hours a month. If you watch X Factor, that's another 4 hours a month. If you watch Power, that's another 4 hours a month. You're already up to 12 hours, and that's just 3 shows. Do something different with your time, right? Understand where you're trying to get to. It's a short-term sacrifice for a long-term gift. If you do what you have to do, you become the owner of that show, Power. You become the producer or executive producer of that show, X Factor. If you do what you have to do, then do what you want to do. You have to do something different with your time in order to get to the results you want. Look, we all have 24 hours in a day, right? Successful people just do something different with their time. That's as simple as it gets. That's as simple as it gets. They just do something different with your time. What would 12 hours a month give you, right? What would that give you? What would you be able to do with 12 hours a month? That's just 3 shows. Count how many shows you watch in a month. Most people are probably watching 10 to 12 shows a month, right? That's 12 hours a week. That's 48 hours. You are just wasting a week. Recognize what I'm saying to you. You're wasting a week out of every single month, right? So you're wasting 3 months out of the year when you could be working towards the things that you want to achieve. Understand it, just break it down. It may seem significant at the time, but when you start doing the math, you're talking about 3 months out of a year, and years are just whizzing by. So it's not like you have a whole lot of time. You have 9 months to get the things done that you want to get done in a whole 12-month calendar because you're watching television. That's just television, right? Start thinking about all the other things that you're doing that are not adding to the things that you want to accomplish. Understand, we all have 24 hours in a day. Successful people do something different with their time, all right? Next part of this is we're going to start defining who you are because this is huge. This is really huge. If you don't know who you are, you don't know where you go, right? The greatest asset you have is the opportunity to be honest with yourself. Understand what I just said. The greatest asset you have is the opportunity to be honest with yourself. All right? First part of this. Your past does not dictate who you will become tomorrow. Right? Understand, your past does not dictate who you will become tomorrow. It only illustrates who you are today. It only paints a picture of who you are today. That's it. That's all it is. Your yesterday doesn't define who you're going to be tomorrow. You could have done all kind of crazy stuff in your lifetime. It doesn't define who you're going to be tomorrow. What defines who you're going to be tomorrow is the moment that you're in. Be honest with yourself about the things that you've done over your life. Be honest with yourself about the things that you didn't do in your life. Be honest with yourself about the issues that you created, about the relationships that you've caused to go bad, about partnerships or about things you just didn't do that you know you were supposed to do. Be honest with yourself. That's your greatest ability. Because if you can't be honest with you, you can't fix the problem. You'll never be honest with anybody else. You're the only person you can't lie to. And yet on a daily basis, we try to convince ourselves of things that are clear. You can't lie to you, right? Your past only dictates an illustration of who you are in the moment that you're in. What you do the second after the moment you're in will define what's going to happen to you tomorrow. Right? Understand that. It's very simple. You can't lie to you. Define who you are. Here's the crazy part. It's okay to not like the person you are today. It's okay to not like the person you are today. It is not okay to not change that person into someone you do like. Right? It is fine that you don't like the person that you've come to at this stage of your life. That's fine. Some of us don't like the people that we are because we know that we've left a lot of success on the table. It's okay. What's not okay is if you don't like that person, it's not okay that you don't change that person. Right? That's not okay. You have to make changes to the individual that you don't like so you can become the person that you do like. Right? Understand this. Be honest with yourself about who you are in this moment and how you got here. Be honest with yourself because you can't cure addiction if you don't have acceptance. All right? The only person you cannot lie to is yourself. That's it. You can't lie to yourself. In order to find out who you are, you have to ask yourself some tough questions. You got to ask yourself some very tough questions. And if you're willing to ask yourself the tough questions, you'll get the answers that you want because you're going to be honest with yourself. Here's our affirmation. Let me see everybody write it. I am honest with myself about all things. I am honest with myself about all things. That's the affirmation for today. Let me see it fly. Go. I am honest with myself about all things. I am honest with myself about all things. If you don't feel it when you say it, you're not going to be honest with yourself. Let me hear you say it. I am honest with myself about all things. Let me see you type it. Let's see it fly. I'm not seeing it. Let me see it fly. I am honest with myself about all things. You have to feel it in every inch of your body, with all of your nerves, with all of your passion and all the love that you have. I am honest with myself about all things. When this is over, say this before you go to bed. I am honest with myself about all things. And have the tough conversation with yourself about what it is that you have done in your life to help you arrive at the space that you're in. Right? I am honest with myself about all things. That is what we need to do. You have to be honest with yourself. Here's another part of this. Ask yourself why, right? Follow me. Ask yourself why before you question how. Right? Understand what I'm saying. Ask yourself why before you question how. We all want to do something. We want to know how we're going to do it. We never question why we're doing it. Right? Why are you doing it? If you want to be at a point where you say, okay, why have I not achieved the success I desire? Not how. How did that not happen for me? Why have I not achieved the success that I desire? Ask yourself why. These are the tough questions, right? Because I was lazy, because I didn't pay enough attention, because I wasn't focused, because I wasn't determined, because I didn't have mental fortitude, because I wasn't gritty enough. Why have I not achieved the success I desire, right? Why do I continue to have certain types of people in my life, right? Why do I continue to have certain types of people in my life? You become what you attract, right? Become what you want to attract. Why do I continue to have certain types of people in my life, right? Why does everything seem to not work? And then be honest with yourself with all of the answers. You have to start asking yourself the tough questions. You can't be in a space where you give yourself an out by lying to yourself. It doesn't work. That doesn't work that way. You have to be willing to ask yourself the tough questions. Check this out. Until you identify the issues, you will not be able to uncover the solution to make changes necessary to see different results. Right? Get this. Until you identify the issues, you will not be able to uncover the solutions to make changes necessary to see the results. You have to be able to be in a space where you understand what the problems are. You can see the problem. Don't focus on the problem. We have to say focus on the solution, right? Your life becomes what you focus on the most. If you say focus on the problem will present itself. If you say focus on the solution will present itself. And then you have to take action. Remember, I tell you guys all the time, change is nothing more than a thought followed up by action. That's all it is. Change is a thought that's followed up by action, right? So you have to identify the issues, focus on the solution, and then you have to make changes. That's what gets you to the results that you want. Now, here's a little exercise for you guys. We're going to define some things. To achieve the success that you want to achieve, you must first be honest with yourself about your efforts. Are you putting a full effort into it, right? Like I told you guys, you got 3 months out of the year that most people are wasting. And that's just on 3 television shows. So think about it. Are you putting the effort in to get the result you want? If you say, I want to lose 10 pounds and you work out 1 hour a week and you're at fast food 5 days a week, it's not that the diet's not working, you're not working. Take ownership. Be accountable for what's going on in your life, right? Are you putting the effort towards the result that you want? Does the outcome mean more to you than the output? You need to ask yourself that. Does the outcome, what you want to achieve, does that mean more to you than the output, than the amount of work you have to put into something? Because if the outcome means more to you then you're not even seeing how much work you have to put into it. Be honest with yourself about the results that you're putting, about the efforts that you're putting in to get the results you want, right? So you have to be in a space to understand who you are in the moment that you're in to achieve the results that you want. If you don't, you're just lying to yourself, and your results are going to have the effect, or the outcome is going to be basically mirroring the action that you're putting into this, right? So I wanted to touch on that and finish that part off with you guys this week. Next week, we're going to jump into personal mindset. For me personally, that's where everything is. It's about the mindset you have. We're going to deal with obstacles versus opportunities. What is your why in developing good habits? So I want to dive into that. I'm going to go over the thread right now. If you have questions, feel free to throw them out so I can make sure that I address everyone that's been on. To all of you who I haven't acknowledged, I truly appreciate you all being on right now. If you have questions, again, throw it out. What is your YouTube channel? The YouTube channel actually is, I'll tell you right now, because I don't know it offhand. It's just Demetrius Brown. You'll see a bunch of videos on there with things that I do with my daughter. I've been teaching my daughters the law of attraction since they were born. So for YouTube, I'm actually going to be uploading a ton of videos. You can follow me on Facebook also, where there's a ton of longer videos on there than the 1-minute videos that are here. A lot of those are there, but YouTube is just Demetrius Brown. It's Disrupt. You can also look me up under that. And you should be able to find me there. There's for YouTube. See here, what other question was there? I saw another question fly. It's good to see you guys on here. How do we get the I Am shirt? So the website is iweariam.com.